Hey there, friend. I'm glad you're here with me tonight. Let's sit together for a while, just the two of us, and I'll share a story that's been lingering in my heart. It's an old tale, one that feels like it's been whispered through time, about a king and a teacher, a man named Gautama Buddha. It's not just about them, though. It's about us, about the weight we carry, and the freedom we sometimes don't even know we're searching for. So, settle in. Let's walk through this together. Imagine a dusty ashram, tucked away somewhere in ancient India, buzzing with people. There's a hum of voices, a kind of quiet chaos as folks gather around this serene figure, Buddha. He's sitting there, still as a lake on a windless day, his presence somehow both ordinary and vast. And into this space strides a king, not just any man, but a ruler. Someone who's used to having the world bend to his will. You can almost see the weight of his crown in the way he carries himself, the way his eyes search for something more than what he's known. He steps forward, and there's this urgency in him. He asks, almost pleads for a moment alone with Buddha. I can picture him, voice low, hands clasped, thinking a private word might unlock whatever he's chasing. But Buddha, with that gentle, unshakable calm, just looks at him and says, "Here, everywhere is solitude. Speak." It's such a simple thing to say, isn't it? But it stops you. It's like he's saying the quiet isn't in a place, it's in you. I've thought about that sometimes, when life feels loud and I'm scrambling for a corner to hide in. Maybe the stillness isn't out there to find. Maybe it's already here if I just stop running. Anyway, the king hesitates, then lets it out. "I want to renounce everything," he says. "I want to become a monk." You can feel the weight of that, can't you? A man who's had palaces, power, armies at his command, standing there saying he wants to walk away from it all. I wonder what pushed him to that edge. Was it exhaustion, loneliness, or just that ache we all feel sometimes, that nothing we hold on to ever really fills us up? Buddha doesn't smile or nod. His face grows serious, and there's a long pause. Then he speaks, and his words aren't what the king expects. "Before I initiate you," he says, "there's a condition. One thing you must do." The king, eager, almost desperate, nods quickly. "Anything," he says. "If I'm to renounce, if I'm to find peace, I'll accept any condition." I can imagine his heart racing, thinking this is it, the moment everything changes. And then Buddha says something that must have felt like a thunderclap. "Take off your clothes, remove your shoes, strip yourself bare, and go to the streets of your capital. Walk through your city, hitting yourself with your own shoes, as if you're nothing more than a fool to be punished." Can you imagine hearing that? The king, a man whose very name commands respect, being told to humiliate himself in front of his own people? I can almost see his face, shock, maybe a flicker of defiance, then a slow, heavy nod. He doesn't argue, he just agrees. And so he does it. Picture this with me. A king, bare and vulnerable, walking the dusty roads of his kingdom, striking himself with his own shoes, people staring, whispering, maybe laughing or turning away in pity. Every step must have felt like a lifetime, every glance from a passerby like a blade to his pride. I've had moments, not like that, of course, but moments where I felt stripped down, exposed, like the world could see every crack in me. It's raw, isn't it? But sometimes it's in those moments that something shifts inside. Back at the ashram, Buddha's disciples are watching this unfold, and they're confused. They turn to him, almost indignant. "When we came to you for initiation, you didn't ask us to do something so harsh. You're wise. Why treat the king like this?" There's a quiet in Buddha's eyes as he answers, and I can almost hear the weight in his voice. "When you came to me," he says, "your egos weren't so vast. A simple act like begging for alms was enough to humble you. But this man, this king, his pride is a mountain. To break it, the medicine must be strong. As he walks those streets, shaming himself in his own eyes, that mountain is crumbling." I've thought about that a lot lately.
How sometimes the hardest things we face aren't punishments, they're medicine. Like when life forces you to let go of something you thought defined you. A job, a relationship, a version of yourself. It stings, but maybe it's breaking down something that needed to fall apart. Have you ever felt that? Like you're being carved into something new, even if it hurts? Back at the ashram, by evening, the king returns. I'm sure he's weary, body aching, spirit raw. He sits at Buddha's feet, and there's no trace of that royal swagger anymore. Initiate me, he says softly. Make me a monk now. I'm ready. You can feel the surrender in his voice, like he's laid down every shield he ever held. But Buddha does something unexpected again. He places a crown, not a literal one, but a gesture of honor, on the king's head. And he says, you don't need to renounce. Go back. Rule your kingdom, not as a master, but as a servant. You're not just a king now, you're a sage. I can see the king sitting there, stunned, maybe even tearful. All that struggle, all that breaking, and he's sent back to his life, not to escape it, but to live it differently. It makes me think of how often I've wanted to run from my own messes, thinking a fresh start somewhere else would fix everything. But maybe the real work isn't in leaving. Maybe it's in staying, in looking at the same old things with new eyes. So, friend, as I think about this king walking back to his palace, no longer carrying the weight of pride, but the quiet of service, I wonder what mountains we're still hauling around. What would it take for us to lay them down? I don't have the answer, not really. But sitting here with you, I feel like maybe we don't need to figure it all out tonight. Maybe it's enough to just notice the weight, to let a little of it slip, and to keep walking, bare, bruised, but a bit lighter. Thanks for listening to this story with me. I'm glad we shared this moment. Until next time, take care of yourself, okay? I'll be here when you're ready to sit together again.